So the respected moderators, respected dignitaries in the audience, and those who are watching me on the virtual media as well. Uh, well, we have started an IVF center here in a very bad time, that is a COVID time. So as I say, this is a very specialized branch that life comes first and then the children. So this issue at the IVF centers and the IVF modalities and the ART procedures, like assisted reproductive technology procedures, are addressed in the last. So once the life is saved, once you survive, and then the children comes, isn't it? So this is, and what do you say? I mean, I would say it's like a plastic surgery. So this modality comes in the end, isn't it, moderators? So anyway, likewise, when you come to, in front of an infertile couple, how exactly you want to proceed? Or maybe all the doctors here, all the medical officers and all the consultants, you may be heading your social group somewhere and all. So wherever you go, you would find somebody talking about their infertility problems, or maybe some problems as far as the gynec part is concerned. And you being heading as a doctor, the social group, how exactly you would guide the patient, this is my concern. Like, not only as a doctor, as an advisor also, how you would guide a person coming to you with any gynec problem and perceiving that gynec problem at the right time. So failure to achieve pregnancy within 12 months of unprotected intercourse, whatever the age group is. Before, like 5 to 10 years before, we would consider that this age group, like 20 to 30 or 30 to 40, 30 to 35, 35 to 40 and above, like we would give a little bit of time, like 25 to 30, we may wait for about 2 years. But now 1 year of unprotected intercourse, your eyes should open, and even the couple's eyes should open. Once the 1 year part has crossed, the investigations start, and it should be started, otherwise we would miss something more. As per the guidelines of ACOG and some recommendations, and infertility evaluations is offered to the patient having infertility or is at high risk of infertility at any age group. But the women's over 35 should receive an expedited evaluation, should undergo the treatment immediately after the 6 months. We are not going to wait for a woman who is at 35 for 12 months. We'll definitely start our investigations by 6 months. Or failed attempts to become pregnant or earlier if clinically indicated. Now, even if there is, you find any clinical indications, no, as per the SM guidelines, we are going to wait 6 months. No, you have to individualize. But the women above 40 years, more immediate evaluation and the treatments are warranted. Right now, I'm treating 2 couples above 35. They are just married 1 month, and I have taken them for an IVF protocol. Why? We'll come to that later. So we do not wait for 6 months. No. The guidelines is 6 months, and we are going to wait for 6 months. No, it's not so. As per the SM recommendations, the woman who has the condition known to cause an infertility should be offered the evaluation by the OB-GYNEC first. Even if you're not an OB-GYNEC, and even if you're as a doctor, you should always guide them the better way. The women's, there's no use pumping the women with 0.2 AMH and 0.1 AMH. No, chal the follicle banach and chalya rakhne. No, this cannot be the mode of treatment, and at this age and at this era. The women's health specialist may also obtain the male partner medical history and of course order one simple procedure that is called as in semen analysis. Because women's has got a battery of investigations, but the male partner has got a torch to find out, that is called as a semen analysis. Once the semen analysis is done, the Pandora's box opens. But at least you'll come to some conclusion that no, otherwise this male is normal, and you can keep this chapter aside and take one chapter that is a female part. Okay? All male infertility patients should be referred to a health care specialist with expertise in a male reproductive medicine. You cannot be master of all, isn't it? Now, what are the points where we need an immediate evaluation? Like female coming to us that okay મને માસિક નથી આવતું ના ના ચાલશે આવી જશે, or maybe માસિક ને આવા 3 મહિના થઈ જાય છે ચાલશે આવી જશે, કાં તો પછી as you being a doctor you may write OC pills and the period comes because she gives a withdrawal bleeding. That is not the solution. If she has an irregular periods, address it. Why she is having? Not all the females are having irregular periods. If she is having PCO, you have to inform that female that look here girl, you are having a PCO, isn't it? Am I right, Deva? Correct. If she is having, whatever the age group she comes, even okay, we leave the young girls till 20, but once she has crossed 20 and if she has a complaints of any type of irregular periods or an amenorrhea for a longer time, for maybe 2 months, 3 months, we have to go to the Thai, uska base mein jana chahiye कि why she is having these problems. Either she is having a PCO or she is having some other problems, or the problem is there in the pituitary or uterus prolactin. There are multiple problems, or she is having problems with the thyroid. Where the problem is, you can come up, ma'am. Sneha, but you are the moderator anyway. So we have to find out, not just giving her withdrawal bleeding, OCPs, and you will be you will have your periods regular, or maybe and progesterone withdrawal. I don't agree with any type of withdrawal. So we have to find out why exactly she is having a irregular bleeding. Known or suspected uterine tubal or peritoneal disease. Young girl of 21 having an endometriosis grade 3, you have to pick her and keep her out. And you have to tell her as well as the family members that this girl, whenever she gets married, you have to start addressing the issue right there. But nonetheless, she has to be counseled and she has to be told that, look girl, get married fast, otherwise you are going to lose your fertility. And nonetheless, the family members have to be told that this girl is having endometriosis grade 2 or grade 3. The issues has to be addressed right now or she's going to lose her fertility, or maybe it is very difficult for her to conceive in the latter age. But once you counsel them, we have been doing it, but once you counsel them, once they are aware, they'll immediately get married and come to us. So as I said, stage 3 and 4 of endometriosis, it's not necessary that stage 3 and 4 endometriosis will only show at 30 or 32 or 35. These girls can present at 22 also, isn't it? Known or a suspected male infertility. Well, the boys would come to us later, but nonetheless, as I said, you have to keep your torch open and do the seminanalysis whenever the couple comes to us with, like, if she is married for 2 months, no, ben vandho nahi 2 mahina thaya chhe, you come later, but look at the age group. If she has crossed 30, you have to start investigating. I'm not telling the deeper investigations like karyotyping and all, but the basic investigations are necessary. Nonetheless, we should not forget the medical part of it. Medical history is the must. Physical examination of the females, of course, vitals, nobody takes the pulse, nobody does the speculum examination. Even I am little bit reluctant sometimes to do a per speculum examinations, because here we have got a probe, we'll straight away put the probe. We have got good machines, so we know we can scan the cervix also, and we can scan the uterus also, and so many other things. The machines which we are having here and people are using at their own private also, the machines are at very high frequency. So we rule out, but nonetheless, per speculum examination is a must. Breast examination is a must. Now, in cases of females, test should be focused on ovarian reserve, ovulatory functions, and structural abnormalities. So what counts is the egg and the sperm, but this egg and the sperm has to meet somewhere. So where the ovaries come into picture, the tubes come into picture, and the uterus come into the picture, and of course the sperms come into the picture. But once the oocytes are laid outside, we need a carrier that is called as a tube, where the sperm and the oocyte, they meet, they have a conception, they stay there for some time, even after the conception, and the embryo comes into the uterus. So we need ghar pan જોઈએ ને રસ્તો પણ જોઈએ, correct? And of course, વરઘોડિયું પણ જોઈએ એવું છે એટલે એ બે તો જોઈએ જ છે તદ ઉપરાંત we want a way to a house and a good house to stay. What are the imaging modalities? As I said, the sonography machine is the first shot. Once the sonography is done with a good man behind the machine and of course a good machine. Now if you cannot do a very good sonography with a machine using from past 10 years or maybe the machine frequency high now where you cannot see anything and you don't rely on these types of machines, but of course with a good machine and a good man behind the machine એક જ machine પર ત્રણ જણ કામ કરતા હોય છે બધા જુદું જુદું જોતા હોય છે because that man is important. That man looks, I look for my infertility, the fetal medicine look for their part of it, like the fetus, and the other person who is looking at it. एक machine पर कितना माणसों काम करे છે because બધાની આય અલગ અલગ હોય ને. Somebody wants to look at the uterus, somebody wants to look at the tube, somebody wants to look at the ovary, and somebody wants to look at the baby only. For them it doesn't matter what it is. So the prime thing is the good sonography. Once the sonography is done, major structural abnormalities will be ruled out. Major I'm talking about. Minor, you have to go deep into it, but the major will be ruled out. So if you find any problem with the tubes, that is a hydrosalpinx or the ovary, the position is not good, there are so many other things the gynecologist sitting here would come to know. And nonetheless, we've come to know about the ovarian reserve also, looking at the antral follicle on the second day. It's very important. The pilot study is very important. You cannot number the antral follicle on the 10th day because 10th day already the dominant follicle is there, the other follicles are not there. So if you are going to count your antral follicle, you have to do your pilot study when she is bleeding on first or second day. So there, if you find the antral follicle down, you have the blood investigation modalities. You can always go ahead with it and combine. Please give me some time. The female factor infertility, as I said, the adverse health effects for the women, fetus, neonate, by working with the woman with the optimizing health, where Dr. Chovatia is going to throw some light on it, because why she should be medically fit. And after what age? Like if we are crossing 32, more and more assisted reproductive technologies are coming into picture. More and more women are coming for the technologies to come up for their pregnancy and carry on with the family. And more health problems are coming up. So we have to work conjointly with the physician as well. So as I said, physicians are always important once you cross the 32 barrier of the age. And of course, let me go through it. History is also very important. You have to talk to her, find out, like she cannot expect pregnancy when both the partners are staying apart. When one partner is a teacher, I have a couple, a teacher in Anand and one teacher is somewhere in Kutch, and they have come up, okay, we don't have a child. So there, how long they are meeting, you have to consider that as well. And as I said, the primary investigation should be done. And of course, the physical, key physical factors would include the body weight, body mass index to rule out the PCO, blood pressures and other investigations, thyroid, breast examination, local examination, pelvic examination, and post-speculum examination. Uterus, tubes, and the ovary has to be scanned with the help of the good sonography machine. I'm going to skip this. As I said, the ovarian reserve is very important. Even by 26, if you don't, like 25 and 26, if you find an ovarian reserve of 1 and 1.2, do you want to address the issue or no? People will say no. હજુ તો ઉંમર નાની છે ને, પણ ઉંમર નાની છે, પણ અહીંયા ગાડી બધું ખલાસ થઈ ગયું છે, તેનું શું? She has lost her eggs by one AMH, and I don't understand. People keep on pumping at 0.1 AMH. What are they going to get? The patient has to be counseled without worry. Don't get scared that we are going to lose the patient. Let us lose the patient. She'll come back to us. She'll definitely come to know later on also that now this doctor has given me the right advice. 0.1, I'm not going to stimulate. Let me lose the patient. It's okay. I will not. I will definitely take her for not only IUI. I will take her for IVF, because she has got about 2-3 eggs. Each time we are going to pump, she's going to lose the egg. And of course, we know the conception rate and the pregnancy rate as far as the IUI is concerned is only 15 to 19%. And this in 19%, if she's going to ovulate one egg, she's going to lose that egg. Instead, I would go for IVF protocol. The 3 eggs I would retrieve, make the embryos, and freeze for her. This should be the protocol for this woman. Diminished ovarian reserve, as I said. We may not go for, as the couple comes to our OPD, we may not give her a battery of investigations. Okay, girl, you need to go for a laparoscopy, you need to go for a postcoital test, thrombophilia, immunology, karyotyping. No. These all should be reserved. But some primary test, we need to be going ahead. There are some points where we will catch these girls with the ovulatory dysfunctions as well. And I'll rush a little bit because my time is over, and I mean it's a very lengthy topic. Investigations yes, you can go through this HSG, that is hysterosalpingography. Nowadays, I don't know, only in the periphery HSG should be this consultant are taking up HSG. Otherwise, here we go ahead with a laparoscopy because we want to address the issue also. Let it be normal. Now, if she has passed some time and we want to do the other investigative test for this female, I would not take up HSG. I would straight away post her for laparoscopy, because with laparoscopy, there are other issues which can be addressed as well. Because if the tube is not patent, I want to see the tube-ovarian relationship also. I want to put a hysteroscope and see whether the cavity is normal. Otherwise, she may have a minor adhesions also. So at the same time, we want to address everything. But in the periphery still, this is HSG is a very helpful procedure for a tubal patency test. And of course, you can come to know the cavity also. And so many things would be clear on HSG, like endometrial polyps, Synechia, Mullerian anomalies, leiomyomas. You can see the structural abnormalities. There, you can see the polyp here. You can see the fibroid. And hysteroscopic evaluation is, of course, the gold standard. I don't have to talk much about it. You can see the uterine factors anomaly, where there is Mullerian anomalies also. We can rule this out and on HSG. Male factor infertility, I will not go in detail today, because a plain simple semen analysis would tell us much. The count of the sperms, motility of the sperms, whether the sperms are live or dead, the fructose if it is present, and azoospermia. Of course, there is no block, but there is a central close. But if there is a fructose absent and if there is an azoospermia, you should know there is a block somewhere down there. So you're not treating with a hypo patient, but you are treating with a block patient. These are the patients where they are going to give us multiple sperms when we do TISA-PISA. So I will not go much in detail of the male infertility. As we know, the IVF sector is progressing day by day. Newer and newer modalities are coming up. Conventional IVF, and then we have gone to ICSI, and then we have gone to sperm sorters. Then we have taken up the freeze-all protocol, which is a very high center modality. Then, of course, the oocyte freezing, ovarian tissue freezing, artificial oocyte, activation of oocyte. Right now, my team is doing research, a lot of research on activation of oocytes with calcium ionophores. And whether it is beneficial or not, we'll come to know once our research is over. And of course, NGS, the PGD biopsy from the blastocyst, biopsy from the day 3 embryos. But now, the non-invasive technique, like the fluid from the blastocyst around the culture fluid, we are doing NGS, all chromosome sequencing, and we are going ahead. So infertility is not a dreadful condition. It's a beautiful journey if you cross with us. Thank you.